Historically, I've actually found it extremely difficult to be fully naked. Now, when I'm saying naked, I'm not actually trying to draw any analogies. I mean naked. Butt-ass naked. Dick flopping in the wind naked. The basic reason for my anxiety was pretty straightforward. I was, and still am, uncircumcised, and I believed that me not being circumcised meant being also unsanitary, gross, and ultimately unlovable. I really want to tell you the story of how I got here, because I'm ready to be freed from this shame. I'm ready to be known for all that I am, not just portions. So strap on, because I'm about to get real raw with you. This paralyzing story began when I was around 7 or 8 or so. Now, unlike most other uncircumcised boys, for some reason my foreskin had a lot of trouble smoothly opening and closing. So this fact caused some hesitation in my pediatrician and inspired him to prescribe me some sort of medicated cream to help loosen up the skin. Now, I followed this procedure for a while until the first time I actually saw the tip of my penis. I could still remember just how vividly scared I was of it. I mean, I had no idea this thing existed underneath my foreskin. I remember sobbing to my mother, honestly freaked out by my own body. The story really began telling itself, though, when I hit 6th grade. I was aware of the fact that most of my fellow male peers were circumcised and that I wasn't. My parents had told me that my situation was a bit different than others, and yet that understanding didn't actually have negative consequences until I overheard a conversation by my friends talking about how dirty uncircumcised penises were. My ears perked up and my face flushed. Dirty? The shame just continued to build and build as I entered the 7th grade, right around puberty. It happened after being caught watching porn by my mom. It was maybe the 5th time I had ever done it, meaning I was just beginning to explore the edges of my curiosity, and I had no actual idea what I was doing. I mean, I literally just Googled the word boobs. My mother didn't condemn my behavior, thank God. I mean, if she had, I have no idea how much worse this mental complex of mine might have gotten. No, she had a fairly healthy view of sex and wanted the same for me, which is why she sent me to therapy. She wanted me to open up with someone outside of the family, someone that I could really trust and didn't feel that kind of hesitation around. So much so that I didn't actually touch or explore my blossoming sexuality for years. In fact, those feelings were so strong that I actually ended up having sex before I had even really touched myself. Now, my intimate relationships in high school and college, while admittedly sparse, included a lot of premature ejaculation. Each time I fully revealed myself, my whole body would tense up due to this flurry of subconscious thoughts reminding me of how disgusting I thought I was. Now, of course, each premature ejaculation only served as reinforcements for my unproductive beliefs because I began concluding that their cause was due to the sensitivity of my uncircumcised penis rather than the tension in my body that was building. In response to this, I started somewhat roughly scrubbing the tip of my penis head in the shower just so that I would lose its sensitivity and I could last longer in bed. In fact, I was so wrought with shame that one of my girlfriends never even knew I was uncircumcised. I mean, we dated for 4 months without her knowing. We only had sex in the dark, and then I ended up breaking up with her before things got too vulnerable, all because I just didn't want her to see the full and uncut me. There are many, many more stories, but I think you get the point. I was in a deep pit of mortification. And the truth is, I still haven't fully climbed out. Feelings of shame continue to linger in my body regarding sexuality. Apparently, liberating one's ideas of nudity and body image and societal beliefs is a hefty process. If I may, though, I'd like to step on my soapbox just for a second and talk about circumcision. Society wants men to grow out of their sexual misconducts and abhorrent past choices, that makes sense, but has simultaneously decided to begin each of their lives by forcefully removing a vital part of their genitals and sexual identity. Imagine if our daughters got their clitorises cut off right after emerging from the womb. What would we do then? At what point will we learn to love and accept our bodies as they are? Even Christians who believe that God created man in his image, the first thing many of them do is chop the literal dick off of God's creation. Makes no sense. Look, we all have closets that we're hiding in. We're all afraid of the possible backlashes that occur when we step out into the world naked, raw, and fully exposed. I mean, historically, gays have been stoned, witches have been burned alive, and gurus have been crucified. What will happen to you and I when we say our truth? Being naked means being vulnerable, as in without armor or shells or protection. Naked as in how we come into this world. Being raw means without filters or touch-ups. No lies this time around. No excuses to yourself or others. Own yourself. And being fully exposed means being unapologetic in what you stand for. But unapologetic without the actual need for attention that typically comes with this kind of authenticity. So with all that said, here are your journal prompts for this week. 1. What am I afraid of getting naked about? 2. What stories am I carrying that tell me I should be anything other than myself? And 3. What's the worst thing that could happen if I say my truth? Hey, if you enjoyed this, consider joining one of my live classes or listening to one of my longer essays. Yes, quick YouTube clips are great, but ultimately they don't actually get at the heart of suffering and healing. All that information is linked below. Thank you for your presence. Blessings to your week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Peace.